Welcome. The human mind is an engine of discovery, constantly seeking to understand the world. We look out and believe we see things as they truly are, from the simple facts of a stone's existence to the complex laws of the cosmos. But what if our very perception is a kind of filter? What if the universe we experience is not an objective reality, but one that is actively shaped and constructed by the very structure of our own minds? History has given us a man who stood at a crossroads of thought, reconciling the great philosophical debates of his time. He was a thinker of methodical genius, a man who rarely left his hometown, yet whose ideas traverse the globe, forever changing the way we think about knowledge, reality, and ourselves. Join us as we explore the architecture of human thought with Immanuel Kant to discuss his masterpiece, Critique of Pure Reason, and the profound idea that we can only know what our minds allow us to know. Born in Königsberg, Prussia, in 1724, Immanuel Kant was a man of extraordinary discipline and intellectual rigor. A son of a saddler, he grew up in a devout pietist home, a background that instilled in him a strong moral conviction. He spent his entire life in his hometown, where he was a professor at the university. His daily routine was so famously precise that neighbors were said to set their watches by his afternoon walk. Despite his quiet, uneventful life, his philosophical contributions were revolutionary. In a period dominated by a clash between the rationalists, who believe knowledge comes from reason alone, and the empiricists, who believe all knowledge comes from experience, Kant forged a new path. His critical philosophy aimed to resolve this conflict by asking a fundamental question, not what we can know, but how we can know anything at all. His work laid the groundwork for modern philosophy and continues to be a central topic of study. Our conversation today will be centered on Immanuel Kant's monumental and famously dense work, Critique of Pure Reason. Published in 1781, this book is a breathtakingly ambitious project to map the limits and structure of human reason. Kant argues that human knowledge is a synthesis of two things: the raw data we receive from the external world, intuition, and the inborn mental categories of our mind, understanding. It is in this work that he makes his most famous distinction between the phenomenal world, the world as it appears to us, and the noumenal world, the world as it exists in itself, which we can never truly know.
Herr Kant, it is a great honor. Your Critique of Pure Reason is a landmark of philosophy, but it is not an easy read. Can we start with the central purpose of your work?
My purpose was to settle the old dispute between the rationalists, who held that knowledge comes from pure reason, and the empiricists, who believed it comes only from experience. I concluded that both were correct, but also that both were fundamentally incomplete. Our knowledge is not a passive reception of information. It is an active construction. Knowledge is a synthesis of the two.
You make a key distinction between the phenomenal world and the noumenal world. What is the difference?
The phenomenal world is the world of appearances, the world as it is structured by our minds. It is the world of space and time, of cause and effect. The noumenal world is the world of things in themselves as they truly exist, independent of our minds. My argument is that we can only have knowledge of the phenomenal world. The noumenal world is forever beyond our grasp.
So, when I look at a table, I am not seeing the table as it truly is?
You are seeing the table as it is presented to your senses and organized by the innate categories of your mind. Your mind imposes the category of substance and the categories of space and time on the raw data it receives. You are seeing a table that exists for you, not the table that exists in itself.
This is a radical idea. Why is it so important for us to recognize the limits of our own reason?
It is the only way to save science from skepticism. Hume's arguments showed that we have no rational basis for believing in cause and effect. I agreed with him on that point. But I argued that cause and effect is not something we observe in the world. It is a fundamental category of our understanding, a rule that our minds impose on all experience. Thus, we can know for certain that all phenomena will have a cause, not because of what we see, but because of how we are built to see.
So, the laws of science are not discoveries about the universe, but about the structure of our own minds.
They are a discovery about the nature of our experience. We can have certain knowledge of the phenomenal world, but we must abandon all claims of knowledge about the noumenal world. We can know that space and time are the forms of our intuition, but we cannot say what they are in themselves.
What is the purpose of philosophy in your system if we can't know the ultimate nature of reality?
The purpose is not to know the thing in itself, but to understand the limits of our own reason. It is a form of self-examination. By understanding what we can and cannot know, we can avoid the errors that have plagued metaphysics for centuries, such as trying to prove the existence of God or the immortality of the soul using pure reason. These are objects of faith, not knowledge.
You had a famous moral philosophy as well. How does it relate to your critique?
My moral philosophy is a direct result of my critique. Since we cannot know the ultimate nature of reality, morality cannot be based on consequences or feelings. Instead, it must be based on pure reason. The categorical imperative, the idea that you should act only according to a maxim that you would will to be a universal law, is a law that we give to ourselves. It is a moral command that is absolute and unconditional, a law of pure reason.
You spoke of perpetual peace. Is this a realistic goal for humanity?
Perpetual peace is not a utopian fantasy. It is a moral imperative. It is the end goal of all political and moral progress. I believe that it can be achieved when states are republics and when they form a federation of free states that respect the rights of all people. It is a long and difficult road, but it is the only road worth taking.
You spoke of a strong advocate for a cosmopolitan view of the world. What does this mean?
It means that every human being has a right to be a citizen of the world. We are not just citizens of a nation, we are citizens of a single human community. We must respect the rights of all people, regardless of where they are from, and we must work to create a world where all people can live in peace and dignity.
You wrote that the starry heavens above and the moral law within were the two things that inspired you most. Why?
The starry heavens show me the immensity and the beauty of the cosmos, which fills me with awe and wonder. The moral law within me shows me the immensity and the beauty of my own humanity, which fills me with a sense of dignity and purpose. One shows me my place in the universe, and the other shows me my duty in the world. They are two sides of the same coin.
You spoke of two kinds of judgments, analytic and synthetic. What is the difference?
An analytic judgment is one in which the predicate is already contained in the subject. For example, a bachelor is an unmarried man. It tells us nothing new. A synthetic judgment, however, adds new information to the subject. For example, the book is heavy. It gives us new knowledge from experience. My great challenge was to show that there are synthetic a priori judgments, judgments that are both universal and necessary, yet they give us new knowledge.
Where do these synthetic a priori judgments come from?
They come from the structure of our own minds. We do not find them in experience. We impose them on experience. For example, the law of causality. We do not observe causality in the world. We impose it on the world to make sense of our experience.
You also distinguished between pure reason and practical reason. Can you explain the difference?
Pure reason is reason as it is used for theoretical knowledge. It is the reason we use to understand the world and to make scientific judgments. Practical reason is reason as it is used for moral action. It is the reason we use to determine what is right and wrong. Pure reason is limited to the phenomenal world, but practical reason is not.
It gives us a way to act in a moral and meaningful way.
How would you advise a person today who is struggling to find a moral compass in a world where truth seems to be relative?
I would say that a moral compass is not something you find in the external world. It is something you find within yourself. The moral law is not relative. It is a universal, unconditional command that you give to yourself. It is a law of your own reason. The world may be in chaos, but you can always act in a way that you would will to be a universal law for all people. The dignity of your own humanity is in your ability to do so.
What is your final message to the modern world which is still debating the nature of knowledge and truth?
I would say, be modest. Acknowledge that you are both a knower and a shaper of your reality. Use reason to organize your experience, but be humble in the face of what is forever beyond your grasp. And remember that true dignity lies in our capacity to act as moral agents, not in our ability to know everything. Live in the phenomenal world, but never forget the moral law within you.
If you were alive today, what would be your perspective on the debates surrounding artificial intelligence and the possibility of a machine achieving consciousness or moral status?
I would say that a machine could never achieve true consciousness, for consciousness is not just a matter of calculation, but of self-awareness. It could never have a moral status, for morality is not just a matter of following rules, but of giving the moral law to oneself. A machine could be a tool for reason, but it could never be a source of reason. The human being is the only being that is an end in itself, and the machine is nothing more than a means to an end.
And so our time with Immanuel Kant concludes. His Copernican revolution in philosophy has had an incalculable impact, teaching us that the objects of our knowledge must conform to the structure of our minds. He offers a profound and ultimately liberating vision. We may not be able to know everything, but the knowledge we do have is certain and reliable precisely because we are the ones who construct it. Kant's legacy is a powerful reminder that philosophy is not just a quest for answers, but a discipline for understanding the very nature of our questions. He reminds us that our minds are not just passive mirrors, but active architects of the world we inhabit. Thank you for joining us. And until our next dialogue, remember that the most important questions are often the ones we can only ask of ourselves.